Hello guys and welcome to another screencast feedback session of an IELTS Writing Task 2. So the question is the same. Some people think that personal happiness is directly related to economic success. This is one view, and the other view is others argue that happiness depends on different factors. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So this is one view again, and this is another view. So this is a discussion type of essay. So we have to discuss both these views and also give our own opinion. So I'm going to address my student who actually wrote this. So you have written, let me just begin with your word count. So you have written 254 words. That does cover the 250 word count which is suggested, but we normally suggest people like IELTS test takers to write about 270 280 words, but 250 is fine if you can cover all the details you want, but we normally suggest 270 to 280. So that's just a suggestion. Let's see what you have written. So I can see you've divided your answer into 3 paragraphs, so that is a little bit fewer than than ideal. Normally we should write about 4 to 5 paragraphs, not more and not less than that. So if we write 3 paragraphs, then where is the introduction and where is the conclusion, right? So I think an introduction is a must, and a conclusion should also be there for a task 2 essay, or at least the introduction should be there. Alright, so you are going to lose marks, unfortunately, on coherence and cohesion because of a lack of paragraphing. So it's not your marks. I copy pasted this from another participant's, from another student's copy. So I'm going to check your script live. Alright, so let's start reading it line by line. Definition of personal happiness to me is a blend of both monetary satisfaction and a spiritual one. So there's a couple of things in this sentence. The word blend is a good word to use. Let me color it in blue. Monetary satisfaction. So monetary refers to economic, right? So money related. So that's a good synonym. So that's the this is the question prompt, and you have used a good synonym here. Also spiritual, it's a good word. So in terms of vocabulary, it's a very good sentence. It's a very good starting sentence. However, there is some grammatical error that you have committed, you have made. For example, it should be the definition of happiness, right? Of personal happiness. And forgive my voice, I have a bit of a cold. So it should be the definition. Normally, whenever we write something in English, if it's a singular noun, we put an article which is a, an, or the. So there is only one definition normally. Like there are many more, but normally we don't write a definition of personal happiness, so it should be the definition. Moving on, happiness is an arbitrary term. The word arbitrary is a very good vocabulary item as to how it is perceived based on situation and surroundings. So it should be situations. Normally when we write something, as I've said, there should be an article. So you can write based on the situation and the surroundings, but it's not actually necessary. You don't have to write a singular noun all the time. You can just put it in plural. So let me just mark it. It should be situations. And surroundings. It can be achieved through forming cordial bonds, that's a good word, with family and friends, which to me is the spiritual side of it. Okay, so there are 2 sides of it you're saying. So one side is monetary satisfaction, another is a spiritual one. Okay. However is a transitional word. Let me mark it in green. The other side belongs to expenditure towards materialistic belongings. It's also a good word, this whole term, belongings. there is a sweet spot in between these two forms, which I would call the nucleus of my personal happiness. So I really like this. Um, I really like this phrase. You called it the nucleus. So you're saying it's a balance between the two views. So from your introductory paragraph, it's clear that you do not support either of these views separately. You support both these views, and you support a compens or like a balance between these two views. So it's a good starting paragraph. It's a bit long, but I think it's fine. But since you have already wasted 84 words, I don't think that you have completely, like, you have properly um, addressed all the main points in your remaining, like, what do you have remaining? You have remaining 170 words, so then it's a little bit less. That's why we suggest you to write 270 to 80 words minimum. Alright, so as an introductory paragraph, it's a good one. As I said, you could have shortened it a bit because of timing issues. And another thing is that there were a few grammatical mistakes, and also there was only one linking word. You should use more, like 2 to 3. Alright, so next paragraph. Happiness would mean nothing to me if I had tremendous economic success. Another thing is, I didn't highlight this phrase, sweet spot, because I think it's an informal phrase. Okay, so you are not supposed to write any informal phrases, any informal, like, anything in an academic test, and IELTS is an academic test. It's a formal test, so you shouldn't use metaphors which are informal. Alright, happiness would mean nothing to me if I had tremendous economic success, but no one to share with. So it's a very good sentence. You get good marks for grammatical range and accuracy. A more pragmatic way, this is a very nice word, way of achieving personal happiness for me can sometimes be associated, good word, with just acquiring spiritual happiness regardless of any economical success. Okay, so the word should be economic, right? Economical isn't required. The word economical is also there in the dictionary, but that in this, like, there's an explanation. You can search it up, you can look it up. So economical, when you literally mean something about monetary value, so it's economic, like economics is a subject. But when you talk about something being cheap or something being reasonable in cost, that is economical. Alright, so here you mean the money related thing, so it should be economic. In between these two forms, so this is a good transition. One ranks higher and means more to me. Okay, I believe to grow as a person, one must strive. Strive is a good word. Strive towards obtaining spiritual happiness, and systematically economic success or well-being follows along. Okay, so follows along. You didn't need the word along, but it's okay. I'm not going to mark it in red. Eluding the reality. This is a very good like eluding, like escaping. So this is very good. To only achieve financial success can be detrimental, nice, to a person's physical and mental state. So if I am not mistaken, you are veering towards the view that happiness cannot be bought by money, right? So you lean more towards the view that happiness, it has more to do with spiritual reasons, but it's not like it is only about spiritual reasons. Money is also required, but if you had to compare, you would prefer the spiritual happiness. I think that's what you wanted to portray. Right, so economic success or well-being follows along. So the first thing, the main thing is spiritual happiness. Right. Alright, so I think this is clear enough, but you could have made it a little bit clearer. I think this is fine though. Giving means more to me than receiving. So this is a good, like a simple sentence. It's a simple sentence, but it's a very dense one, so I like it. To have achieved financial success would also allow me the opportunity to be more generous and help the needy. Okay, so you've started a sentence with to have achieved, so this is good. You are showing that you can write complex sentences. This automatically is a result to procuring, this is a good word, personal happiness through spiritual gain. To sum up, so this is a transitional sentence, transitional phrase. I believe both these forms play substantial roles as to attaining personal happiness, although I tend to, so this is another, to side more towards spiritual happiness. I believe economic success also is a crucial factor to achieve that. So yeah, it's a nice little essay, but the thing is, I think that it was too little. So you have you have sufficiently explained your position, that you, this one, give your opinion. So I think you have fulfilled this task quite well, but you haven't really discussed both views. Like, I think you should have uh, like written another paragraph. You could have divided, you could have dedicated one paragraph to this view, which is that money can buy happiness, and another paragraph to this view, which is money cannot buy happiness. Spiritual happiness is more important. And then you could have given your own opinion at the end, in the fourth paragraph. That would have made this task requirement more fulfilled. Alright, so this is my immediate reaction to reading your essay. Another thing is, besides this paragraph, you have used very little like linking words and phrases. Only one in each of the first two paragraphs, as far as I can see. So this paragraph is alright, you have used 3. So you're also going to get a little bit penalty in coherence and cohesion because of a lack of paragraphing and of a lack of transitional markers. So if you don't know, this is the marking criteria: task, response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. So let's start with this because it's the easiest, I can say. I don't know if it's the easiest or not, but I like it. So you are not going to get a 9 here. Use cohesion in such a way that it attracts no attention. Skillfully manages paragraphing, sequences information and ideas, logically manages all aspects of cohesion. No, you're not going to get anything. Logically organizes information and ideas. There is a clear progression throughout. So range of cohesive devices appropriately, although there may be some overuse. Okay. Clear central topic within each paragraph. Let me check that. Do you have a clear central topic in each paragraph? So here you've talked about the definition of personal happiness. So it's a blend. So the first paragraph is very good in terms of that. What about the second? It would mean nothing to me if I had trepidation, but no one to share with. Okay. Okay, so you here have written, we started the paragraph with a sentence that it would mean nothing to you, right? So it automatically implies that you are completely disregarding the first view, which is that money is directly related to economic success. So you didn't actually end with that. You said that it is important, but it is not the most important. Money is not the most important. But here it's not clear. It seemed like you were saying that money doesn't mean anything to me if I don't have spiritual happiness, or if you don't have anyone to share with. So, and also this part, no one to share with, so that implies that you are going to talk about companionship, you're going to talk about family relationships, friends, but you haven't really talked about them, right? You have talked about one must strive towards obtaining spiritual happiness and systematically. Okay, so you haven't really talked about family values, about marriage, of friends, right? So it's not a clear central idea. Let's see the last one. Giving means more to me than receiving. To have achieved financial success would also allow me the opportunity to be more generous and help the needy. This automatically is a result of procuring personal happiness through spiritual gain. Another thing is that I think this part, these three sentences belong in this paragraph, right? In the second paragraph. Or you could have made another paragraph and then kept this part in another paragraph, because from this to the finish, it's more like a conclusion, but this is not part of the conclusion. So there are some paragraphing issues, right? So let me write it. Lack of paragraphs. Then the last paragraph has elements of the first three sentences of the last paragraph belong in the concluding paragraph, right? And the thing is, underuse of linking devices. I think that sums it all up in coherence and cohesion. But besides that, you did have a writing flow. Alright, this one, second paragraph, issue with the topic sentence of the second paragraph. Alright, so that's all about cohesion. Let's see what marks you will get. Arrange this information and is coherent, and there is a clear overall progression. It is coherent effectively, but cohesion within and or between sentences may be faulty or mechanical, may not always use reference clearly or appropriately, useful but not always logical. I think you're going to get a 6. Let me just still go to 5 and see. It's somewhat but maybe lack of clear overall progression is inadequate, overuse. Okay, so it was not repetitive, may not write. Okay, so you're getting a 6 in cohesion and coherence. Alright, so let's go to lexical resource. So you have used a lot of very rich vocabulary, so I'm really impressed. You could have improved though. No, I don't think that there was any significant point of improvement, because you have used the correct synonyms, you have used appropriate words and vocabulary like blend, you've used monetary and spiritual, but the word spiritual you could have rephrased because you have used it a lot, right? It's not a significant problem, but to get a 9, I think you could have used even more synonyms. Even the word substantial is good. So I'm going to give you high marks here. Let's see what you can get. Uses a wide range of vocabulary with very natural and sophisticated control of lexical features. Rare minor errors occur only as slips. Uses a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly. Precise meanings. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies in word choice and collocation. This is rare errors in spelling and or word formation. Sufficient range of vocabulary to allow some flexibility. Alright, so you're getting an 8, I think. Alright, so now about grammar. So you made some grammatical mistakes at the beginning, but you didn't at the end, so very good. So I would say that you made really only 3 grammatical mistakes, and your range was also good. So let me just still skim again. So you have to use a lot of complex sentences. You see, range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy, rare minor occurs. Wide range of structures, the majority of sentences are error-free, makes only very occasional errors or inappropriacies. So see, you have to use a lot of complex structures. Let me see if you have used complex sentences. Yeah, you have. Like this one, Yeah, you have used a range of sentences. I think I am going to give you an 8 here as well. Okay. So I think you can improve a lot in coherence and cohesion in your next essay, because these things you can easily, not easily, but you can actually uh, like solve with minimal effort, I think. Alright, finally task response. The first one I'm going to go last because it's the most, like, not complex, but it needs a lot of things, like fully address all parts of the task, presents a fully developed position in answer to the question with relevant, fully extended and well supported ideas. So here the terms fully extended and well supported ideas, here I've got some comments to make. So it means that you mention something and then you give an example to, like, you have a clear main idea and then you have supporting details. There could be explanations, there could be examples, but I think that you have actually not properly, like, given extended like discussions. For example, happiness would mean nothing to me. So here there is a disconnect between what you started with and what supporting details you gave. It's not directly related to no one to share with, right? You did not write the rest of the paragraph according to this main idea. So this is a huge problem. Let me also mark it. Disconnect with the rest of the paragraph. Alright. Also this one, for example, you said that if you have spiritual happiness, then economic success will gradually will automatically come. So here I think you have actually extended this one towards obtaining spiritual. Overwhelming follows along. Eluding the reality to only achieve financial success can be detrimental. Okay, giving means more to me than receiving. So I think that you have actually explained this point. This whole part is about financial success automatically coming if you are spiritually satisfied. However, you could have given more specific details. Like, I'm seeing that you haven't repeated anything, but you haven't really said any specific things, or you could have given an anecdote, you could have given some examples of how it could be done, or examples of men or women who were needy but they were so satisfied they achieved enlightenment or something, or they were at least happy with their family, with their friends, and that's why and gradually they also gained economic success as well. So you could have given or even made up one story like that. So I think that this part you could have used more practical examples, or more, not practical, it could be a made up anecdote even, but some examples. Alright, so I think you're going to get a little less on task response. Let's see. Sufficiently addresses a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended, and supported ideas. Addresses all parts of the task. Clear position throughout the response, presents, extends, and supports main ideas, but there may be a tendency to overgeneralize and or supporting may lack focus. Okay, so you could get a 7. Let me see. So because your position was clear, but there was overgeneralization, but you did extend some things. Let me see. 6. Actually you are getting a 6, sorry for that, but most of these criteria point to a 6. So feedback is to be aware of your topic, sentence, and align your entire paragraph according to it. Alright, so I think this is also something that you can, not easily, but you can with minimal effort you can solve. Alright, so I think you're getting a 6 plus 6 plus 8 plus 8, which is a 7. It's a good score. Congrats, and I hope and I do think that you will do better in your second essay. Thank you.